Five, four, three, two, one.
Hello, I'm all on my own. Yes. I don't know if people don't know, Dave had a little operation last week on his head and he can't put headphones on, but I'm sure he'll be hovering around in the gallery tonight. So he's not coming up on screen. So you got to just put up with me for a little while, just me and Rocky, who's eating his chew somewhere. I hope everyone's had a good week. I'm a lot better now. I'm off the drugs. So guess what? I've got a beer tonight. So been a busy old week. Yeah, been doing bits and bobs. Went for magic competition and all that sort of good thing. But we'll go through what's been going on the channel. Well, we've had 5,490 views this week. Pretty impressive. And 18. Good afternoon, Mick. And 18 brand new subscribers, which is fantastic. So what have you been watching? Well, you watched the number 3 last week's last battle royale tie, 55. Coming in at number 2 this week, we've got Crazy Horse and Neil Young with 58. But at number 1 this week, we've got should have been number 1 in the 50s and 60s that Simon and Richard myself did last 70 at 78. Top short last week was Saturday's Needle Drop Saturday, Marillion live. He knows, 542. Good evening, Richard. Hope you're well. And you're absolutely right. There were some stinkers in that top 10 from America today. 28 days, so there's 24,926 people have watched. And 62 new subscribers in the last 28 days, which is always appreciated. So what have you been watching? We have been watching a Battle Royal tie 4, the Gladys Knight and the Pips versus the Who, 169. Retro ranking bread still there at 200, but for some reason, the status quo album ranking that I did way back in 2021 is at 223 this week. And the top short of the 28 days is the Needle Drop for Burn with 1,049. So what's been happening overall? Well, this week we went through the 600,000 views mark. We're at 600,213 views now, which is incredible. And we've got 3 shy of 2,500 subscribers. So thank you very much for your continuing support of the channel. Top 5 views ever. Well, Mike Oldfield's now at 4,366. Jethro Tull, 4,461 for Derek Rigg. Slade, 5,180. And status quo at the top with 10,031. Top short is Paul Diano, now 4,468. I've been listening to a bit. Island Orbain, never get that right. 9 of the 16. The Bookshop Band, 7 of 14. Matt, which I've really got into again, 9 of 16. And Chris de Burgh, 10 of the 23. Yes, Mike Ratledge has passed away. But Dave's not here, but he has done me a list of Hatties, Maddies and Dispatches. And he's a good lad. So, and one of them is on there. So we've lost this week Sal Almeida. Now, he was a bass player. He was in Roxy Music and Sparks. We got Gene Barge, who was a rock saxophonist. He passed away. Barbie Hissue, which is a Taiwanese pop singer, passed away as well. And as Zeb pointed out, Mike Ratledge of Soft Machine has sadly passed away. And a record producer, Murder Inc. Records of Gotti. Birthdays at 59 today is a certain Richard Paul Astley, known to us as Rick Astley. So happy birthday to him. 63 today is William Bruce Rose Jr. We know him as Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses. And 68 today, drummer extraordinaire with Toto. He's played with Mike Oldfield, you name it, he's played with them, Mr. Simon Phillips. Also, another drummer today is 69. Jerry Marotta. 75 today, Edwin Lionel Meadows Jr., known to us as Punky Meadows. He was in Angel, which was a pretty good band. And also today, celebrating a birthday, Michael Philip Batt. Eloy is a director and producer, but he's always remembered for being the man that created the Wombles, and he introduced Katie Muella to the music business. 82 today is Fabian and Anthony Forte, known as Fabian, American singer and actor. But the oldest person today is Dave Berry, teen idol during the 60s, and he had hits like Mensive Tennessee, The Crying Game, and he was also in Are You Being Served? Apparently there's one notable matches, and that's in 1995. Beach Boys, Brian Wilson weds former model and cow saleswoman Melinda Ledbetter, and they stayed married until sadly her death last year. So it's not as good as Dave's, but at least we got some hatches and matches and dispatches. So let's get rid of that. And let's get rid of that. You just got to bear with me here, folks. We've got a little poll going tonight. Now, this week, Black Sabbath announced they're going to play. Oh, thank you, Dave. I'm going to play one more gig. So I've put up a little poll tonight. Should they do it? We'll see what's happening. Now, I haven't looked to see how the votes are going at the moment. 86% say yes. That's all I've got at the moment. Personally, I would give that one have a rain check on that. So let's have a look and see what I'm doing next week. If you've got any requests, I'm sure Dave will note them. He is here. Hope you're well. Anyway, I haven't spoken to you today. Hope your head's healing. So let's bring up the what's on next week. I've got to do all this all myself now. I'm not used to doing it all on my own. Yeah, well, yeah, that's right, Dave. So what's happening next week? So Monday, we've got a little bit of David Gilmour album ranking. All these solo albums. Looking forward to that. Perfect side. We're going to do some classic Whitesnake from the best lineup of the band. We're going to look at the best side of Ready and Willing. Tuesday, we have got a big old day. Look at that. We've got some birthdays. First, we got Hugh Scott's cousin Matthew, and then we've got a relative of Dave's. She's got a birthday as well. Yeah, it is a great Whitesnake album. And then we're going to have a bit of a Partridge Family day. Yes. Don't know who requested it, but we've got the Partridge Family. So we're going to rank the Partridge Family albums. Now, although that's the Partridge Family thing, they didn't play the music. Only 2 of them people actually played on the albums. And then we're going to look at... Good evening, William. Then we're going to look at David Cassidy solo. So, oh, it was Mick. Yeah, so then you've got a whole day of Partridge Family and David Cassidy on Tuesday. Good evening, Mike. Wednesday, we're going to do a bit of reggae for the marathon. And we're going to do British reggae band Aswad. Again, another request. So, looking forward to that. Then we go on to Thursday, another big day, because it's going to be a bit different. First off, we've got part 2 of the Neil Young story, and that one album that he put out in the 60s, Neil Young. Also, we've got Painting by Numbers, and it's quite apt that we're doing Black Sabbath album artwork. And then, coming out on Thursday, we have got the quarterfinal draw for Battle Royale. Hopefully, Dave will be fit enough to do it. I've kept him in, but our special guest will be last year's winner, Simon, who will be making the draw. And then that'll take us nicely round to Friday and another busy day. Look at this. We've got another birthday. We've got Michael, one of Hugh's cousins. We've got Rod Stewart live albums. And I know this said we were doing that this week, but it didn't come out. I had conflicting reports of when it was coming out. So we will be doing Manic Street Preachers. So tomorrow, we've got an album by Bob Young associated with Quo called In Quo Country. And then next Saturday, Richard and myself have got another video. And all we're going to say, it's probably pretty obvious. It's just called Two's the Limit. I'm sure everyone will guess what that is. So, that is what's going on next week. Oh, I've taken myself. There we go. There we go. Sorry, folks. Yes. So I'm doing for you. So Flinters. That was for those that haven't. There we go. There we go. Good evening, Jim. Yeah, Mike stepped in to do the review today, and it was we had a good time. Before anyone comes up, now before I was put my back went, I had some VCLT. I did show some last week, but I couldn't get at the other because I put it away. So I'm going to show you before everyone comes up what else I had. These were from Simon. I've had a couple of Joan Baez's EPs, and the first one he sent me was this one, With God on Our Side. It's really nice. It's very gospel-y and in the church as well. It's really nice songs. We've got God on Your Side, Farewell, Angelina, It's All Over Now, and Baby Blue. Lovely EP that is. And the other one he sent me is this one. Once I Had a Sweetheart. Again, it's got some lovely songs on here. It's got Old Blue on here. Again, The Trees They Don't Grow, Wildwood Flower, which is a lovely song, and Once I Had a Sweetheart. So some excellent songs, and thank you very much for Simon. Now, Simon won't be about because he's engrossed in the football tonight, but he said he might come and annoy us in the gallery. But the other albums I had from my good friend Nick, and he phoned me up and he says, "Have you got these albums?" And he said, I said, "No." So this is what he went and brought me while he was in Northampton. Another Steel Eye Span album. Then there was 6. It's an excellent album. Played it quite a lot. And the other one he got me was a live album, Live at Last. And that is terrific. So my Still I Span is coming on nicely. So that's fine. Let's get rid of that because we don't need that anymore. So that's what's been happening. So yeah, my thoughts on Black Sabbath. Now I'm a Black Sabbath fan, but I don't think it'll happen because I don't think Ozzy is fit enough, and I don't want to see Ozzy up on stage in a poorly state. He won't be the same. It's like Phil Collins sitting on stage. I didn't want to go and see that, and I don't want to go and see Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, it's great that the original four are being on stage together again for one last time, but I just don't think it'll work. I really don't. And I am a huge Black Sabbath fan. But I just want to remember them in the thing. I'm talking about someone coming up. Good evening, Mike.
Hiya.
Yeah, I think William has hit it on the head. The world doesn't need another Black Sabbath reunion. It doesn't.
No, I agree.
Let's remember them from the 70s making great music.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was quite telling that that they did a bit on the news yesterday, and Sharon was sort of was there, sort of promoting the whole thing, but she didn't seem to be all that sure that Ozzy was really well enough to do this.
It's Sharon.
Yeah. I think it would be a shame, really, because it would, it could all end rather sadly, and like you say, remember them in their pomp. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. No, Richard. Yeah, I agree, Richard. It'd be great in one sense, but I'm not looking. I mean, he's struggling. He's walking around on a stick. And when he did that thing if you remember, he did the thing at the Commonwealth Games closing ceremony. He was lip syncing.
Right. Yeah.
So I've there's a lot of fans saying, he'll need an oxygen tank on stage. He's not in good health at the end of the day. And no, I think it'll be a big mistake. And that's coming from a metal fan.
Yeah. But
I don't want to see it. My mate Lee, he was saying, someone said, do you want to go and see it? And he went, no, you're all right. Because I know it's not the same. And I think it's like with any bands like what we've seen when we were growing up. Do you really want to go and see them now? I don't. I mean,
yeah.
Keith Richards. I mean, he's 81 now.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I think the Stones seem to be an exception because they've been, they've been touring forever, haven't they?
Yes.
And they've kind of grown old on stage, and I think there's a difference between that and retiring for years and then suddenly coming back. I think you really sort of see the difference between sort of like how they were and how they are now. Yeah.
No, I think Stunty's right. See, Dave makes a point. He's, shouldn't have done that closer ceremony too soon after his spinal surgery.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had spinal surgery, and you don't want to do anything like that for months. It was bad enough getting across and walk across the room, let alone going on stage and singing Paranoid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, someone will buy tickets, and I bet they'll be. I don't know. I don't think. I don't. To be quite honest, I don't think Rossie's that bothered. I think, as I said, I think it's Sharon
Yeah.
trying to make some money. Do you think that,
Probably.
Mike? Do you think it's Sharon Osbourne?
I think it's the family. I think it's the family. I think it's the business and the business interests and the inheritance interests. It has nothing to do with rock and roll. Bunch of bullshit. It's all business.
Yeah.
At least the Sex Pistols had the right idea, didn't they, with their brief comeback? You know, the Filthy Lucre tour. But you know, I can't see it happening. Actually, I'm not too sure he's actually going to be fit enough to get onto the stage.
No.
I do rather enjoy these tours ending abruptly, though. There's something very fitting about it. I mean, a lot of these bands they go out after 20 years and they quit after the third show. It's happened a few times already.
Yeah, absolutely, Jim.
Yes.
Nice one, Vivian.
Yes.
Yes. So what's been happening then? What
busy
have you
week. Busy week. I had a little bit of a cock up, as you people would say, with the translation of the of Ned's. I learned a lot this week, and that is that if you want to do what is it called, closed captioning, YouTube doesn't do it for you automatically. I mean, you have to export and clean it up and re-upload it. And so, as the premiere was happening, I'm saying to my wife, "There's no English subtitles. I got all these people to come and watch. There's no English subtitles." And I was sweating bullets. And then it ended, and I realized I taught myself how to do it. And so I have a video going out next week of a store of a local store 2 stations away from me. And it's so different than Ned's because this guy was ready for me. He's a brand new store, opened 3 months ago. He was there with his wife. He retired, and her English was quite good. And it really is going to come off as a sales promotion video. I've never made one of those. So we're going to go from the noise store, which really kind of, I mean, he was very skeptical of me coming in. He thought I was going to do a sales promotion video. That video is anything but a sales promotion video. It's just him free talking about his experiences. Tonight, I have a video going out of a soul store in Nishi Shinjuku. It's all records and music, and it's all his music, right? It's all Motown. Right. Tits up to any kind of revenue on that video. They love you, fellas. But next week is the guy that I saw this week, and I don't know. Oh, and then there's a reggae store. So
yeah,
we got a pipeline. So fun week. Been teaching myself a lot.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I always like your record store videos.
Where you're living. Can you just tell them what time it is in Japan?
I know they love to hear that, don't they? They love to hear that. It's 5:30 in the morning, 5:24 in the morning. Oh my God! I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Yeah, I mean, I do appreciate you coming up so early today.
Once a week, I do it.
Yes.
Then I go back into senior citizen mode. I got an ascot on tonight in honor of you people.
Very
good. Yeah.
Very good.
So, yes.
Have you been listening to anything different or interesting or?
Well, I have been, as I've been going out, I've been picking up on some of the J-pop and the K-pop that's playing constantly everywhere, and I take out my camera and I click Shazam. And I've been capturing some of these bands, and there must be like 40 or 50 of them, and they all look the same. They're all posed in different outfits, and they have different looks to them, harsh looks, innocent looks, violent looks, street tough looks, and they all have different names to them. And like Espa, that's a K-pop band, and what have you. And they all sound to my ear as a retiree all the same. And so I realized that, for my father, when I was a kid, when the Doors were coming on, playing, "Touch Me," and he was having an aneurysm in the front seat of the car while I was in the back, like figuring out what "Touch Me" is all about. And he just wanted to play Mel Torme and Rosemary Clooney. And so, unfortunately, my ears. I mean, if this music is the great music of this generation, we won't know for another 10 or 10 years. But I don't know. It's all very manufactured. I can't really see these kids like getting started in their apartments and getting together on a budget and coming up with an idea for a band and then pitching it. I mean, that's not the way it's happening, is it? I mean, there's calls for talent and people go in and interview, kind of like, what Simon Cowell does, right? Isn't that how these bands are developed, right? They go in and they audition, they get a call back, and they're told they're right for Espa, or they're not right for Espa, and they're right for this one or not right for that one. And there's a tiny little window of opportunity, right? And they get their 1, 2, 3 years of concerts and stadium concerts. They don't play bars, right? They play large venues. They kick out because it's a heavy money investment. And that seems to be the music industry. I'm sure lots of people will weigh in on this. I didn't bring anything to the sample. Maybe next week. You caught me a little flat-footed today.
Right.
J-Pop, I apologize. But I am prepared with the family stuff.
Yeah. So who are the sort of movers and shakers then in J-pop? I mean,
let me get out.
Are there sort of J-pop superstars?
Yes.
I mean, what's gone with bands? The bands like the Rolling Stones. They started out up in a Bedford van, going up and down the M1 every day.
Yeah,
a clapped out van. I mean, Paul McCartney, when he finished with the Beatles, when he started Wings, he had to start at the bottom again in a clapped out van, just turning up. I mean, lucky he was Paul McCartney, but he could go in and say, "Can I come and play?" But oh yeah, hang on, what's it? I'll make you big. Let's have a look at this.
Well, no, keep me small, because I'm going to show you a bunch of these. So, Blue Clue, okay, here they are. I mean,
they look like dolls.
This is 1,700 plays, and who else we got here? Oh, here's very, very typical. I wonder if I can play any of this. Here is Sparkling Moon with their hit song Gang Parade.
Wow.
Young and lovely.
Don't they? There's no.
Yeah.
But you're just.
They seem to have. They look like they have no control, over what they do. There's somebody else. Is it record companies, or are there producers that do this?
Yeah. Now there was a scandal here. There was a scandal here with abuse of young boys. It was called Johnny's, and I'm sure you saw some reports on that in the news. He was sexually abusing the young boys. This happened over a period of years. Johnny's, and he's no longer walking the planet. I think he died, committed suicide. I can't remember, but anyhow. But this is the new breed. I mean, this is like Johnny's. This is post Johnny's.
Right.
I couldn't even tell you if these girls are Chinese, Japanese, or Chinese.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's, you take some of the bands that have been produced on these contests, they don't last 5 minutes, do they?
No.
I mean,
Oh,
And
right.
look at that. They're not even performing their avatars.
Yeah.
I bet my little finger's got more talent.
I should actually go to a specialty store and do a video about this.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
dig in.
Maybe you should.
Yeah, really dig
Yeah.
in. Because I'm just
But-
giving you a really cursory,
I mean, are there any sort of, superannuated sort of J-pop stars, that those sort of anyone who's lasted the course and has sort of, somehow sort of come out the other end of the factory and become a performer in their own right, or does that just not happen?
I think so. Certainly, this 67-year-old man is certainly no expert, but I'll research it a bit.
Yeah.
I should be, yeah.
I mean,
I
they
mean,
don't
it is
have to
fascinating.
write, do they? They don't even have to write their own material. There's about 15 people write a song these days, isn't it? 15 people
Right.
write one song.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's because it has to be to a formula, doesn't it? That it's what's successful now, so we'll do the same again.
Yes, and the Japanese are kind of known for that. I mean, Japanese are not they're not big risk takers. They're risk averse. Has a culture. It's just well known. I'm not being racist. It's fact. And so they tend to go with what worked before and repeat it and repeat it.
Yeah, because the likes of Simon Cowell in the UK. It seems that what happens is that they create a band, either through a talent show or sort of or elsewhere through sort of advertising and auditions, and then they relentlessly, ruthlessly promote this new group, and they're aimed, I think, almost exclusively at sort of pre-teen mark, and so there has to be a new band every couple of years, because then that's for that age group, that people becoming sort of interested in music 11, 12 years old, that this is the new girl group, the new boy group, and it's theirs. Not like the band that older sister liked 2 years ago.
Right.
But it's it seems to be ostensibly the same music. It's the same formula, time and time again. And as a market employer's business, it seems to work very, very well, doesn't it? But,
yeah, I was listening. I mean, the biggest one was, you remember the rock pop arts idol that it was the Survivals, and the winners were Hearsay. They made one album and it all fell apart. But the band that comes second, which was what became Liberty X, went on and had quite a successful pop career for about 4 or 5 years and made, tours, albums, and big hits.
Yeah.
I mean, the only one that really did work, I think, out of the manufactured was Girls Aloud, I'm sorry to say. They did very well, didn't they?
On the other side of this, I mean, if you're a teenager, this is your music. This is the music of your generation, and these artists are talking to them, and they feel it in their hearts that this is their music. It's special. This is what they're growing on, and means the world to them.
Yeah. Absolutely. And there's a really interesting thing I thought about the X Factor in the UK, because everybody knew it was about finding a young a young person who could be the next pop star,
Right.
who could make Simon Cowell a bit more money for a little bit longer. But they did this thing where they had different age groups, so you could get, and I think it was over 30s. Ian, was that one of the So there was a group for sort of people who were sort of over 30 years old that suddenly decided they wanted to go on a talent show, and become a pop star. And it seemed to me that it was quite clear that the program was kind of playing lip service to that, because that was about the television program that people were watching every Saturday night or whatever. But the actual sort of pop business side of it, I think, was absolutely the young stars, the teenagers, and those were the ones that were going to get the record contracts. And they made an awful mistake, didn't they? It wasn't X Factor, was it? What was it? Was it Pop Stars? When it was that guy Steve Brookstein.
Yeah.
And Steve Brookstein was he could hold a tune, all right. He was getting on a bit, and he didn't have a lot of charisma, basically. But unfortunately for the producers, the public decided that they liked him, so they voted for him. And his career went absolutely nowhere. I think Simon Cowell didn't really want anything to do with it, because he knew, he was the wrong one. But and I think they've kind of been looking to manipulate it, haven't they, to make sure that they get somebody that they can market.
Yeah, the trouble is, to trust the British public to vote for a pop star is not a good idea.
But I think the problem is that the people watching the program, the television audience, wasn't the same as the record buying audience. I think there were a lot of older people would say watch the X Factor, Pop Stars, or whatever, but they wouldn't necessarily be buying records anyway. So, but they still voted for the acts that they liked.
I think the only one of the ones that really went was that Susan Boyle. I mean, she made a lot of money, didn't she?
Yeah.
What happened to her?
I don't know, but I think she's retired now. She's not made enough money to retire.
Yeah.
And fair play to her.
Well, exactly. But I think that this is a relatively new sort of phenomenon, isn't it? The sort of using the media, using television in particular to promote, the next big thing. And it's still sort of like it has the sort of air of being sort of like quite democratic, that the public get to say, who they want. But it's all sort of carefully choreographed behind the scenes. But I mean, back in our day, there was still a lot of manufactured bands, weren't there? Or at least bands that were turned into something that maybe they weren't in the first place.
For example,
it's just made
I think Sweet are a good example of that.
Yeah.
Sweet quite. What's this?
Yeah, if Simon Lucifer Cowell was one of the judges, Blur or Radio or PJ Harvey.
I think we probably all know what the answer to that would be, Scott. Yeah. Because it's not about enduring talent, and it's certainly not about songwriting ability, is it? It's about being photogenic, being somebody that can be sort of manipulated, who's happy for the fame and whatever. But when we're so talking about bands like the Sweet, who were quite a sort of quite a hard sort of rock band, really. I mean, that's what they were doing. and they weren't really, they weren't getting anywhere. And they were taken up by sort of RCA and Chin and Chapman wrote their hits for them, and they became something else. And it was very much sort of like, particularly their very early singles, I think they were very much sort of like, American sort of bubblegum, really.
Yeah.
Almost like the Archers.
Yeah.
And
with the Banana Splits.
I mean, things like, what were the early ones? Funny was one, wasn't it? Coco.
Coco.
Yeah.
Alexander Graham Bell.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's probably the first three of the Chin and Chapman singles, and it was very American bubblegum, and it was
first album they did
the chart.
The New World song, Turn Around, didn't they?
Yeah. But then, once their sort of, their years of sort of, parading around the top end of the chart sort of finished. I mean, Sweet went back to, writing their own songs. Not that they weren't writing songs, because I think a lot of the B-sides are their songs.
The albums they did were.
Yeah. But afterwards they carried on, and they were, they went back to sort of what they were probably more comfortable with.
Right.
Yeah.
The trouble is, people want to be famous now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ask kids, what do you want to do? I want to be famous.
Yeah, as if that's a sort of an ambition in its own right. It doesn't matter what do you want to be famous for?
Yeah, that's it. They just want to be named.
Yeah.
What they want to be famous for, they haven't got a clue. I mean, gone are the days where groups of people sit in bedrooms thinking about, I want to form a band, and what they've no goals. They don't set goals, do they? I mean, you take band Magnum. They had made 6 albums before they had a breakthrough in their own country. The album that broke them through was Wings of Heaven.
All right.
Before that, had about 6 or 7 albums. And they toured, and they were a cult band. They got a good following, and they still have. So them days are gone. I mean, Genesis, they're an example, isn't they?
Yeah.
In what way? How would you illustrate that example?
When they started, they were bigger in Italy before the UK.
Really? I didn't know this.
Yeah, they were, music. Nursery Crime was a bigger seller in Italy than here in the UK.
Yeah.
It wasn't until Foxtrot come out and everyone went, whoa. But,
Yeah.
in Italy, they'd all go, apparently, this is quoting Phil Collins, you go to a gig they'd all turn up in their caftan coats with their copy of Nursery Crime under their arm. And they'd sit there just looking at you with the LP in their hand.
Well, yeah. Michael, sort of back in the day, were you a fan of the Monkees at all?
When they first came out, much like when Adam West Batman and the Monkees, when they were first about to go on television for their debut, these were huge events. I mean, when I say huge events, every kid was at home eating popcorn or having soda pop, waiting for these shows to go on. And when they appeared, they were so exciting because the color was so bright and fresh, and the presentations were just so wild, considering, what was it, 1964, 63, 64 period, 66? We'd never seen anything like this before. So I would say the major events were for me were the Monkees TV show and Batman.
Yeah. I mean, they were both really big over here.
Yeah.
You know, I can't imagine there's sort of anyone of my sort of age in the UK that didn't watch the Monkees and Batman.
Right. But you watched it at home, and then you conferred with your buddies at school or at their homes about it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how the excitement spread through word of mouth.
The Monkees, I first saw the Monkees. They put it on in the school summer holidays in the morning, and I loved it. I mean, I'd heard of the Monkees, you know, but they were funny guys, and they were actually good musicians in the end. I mean, because I've seen a documentary, and it was Mike Nesmith that really put his foot down about, you know, some of the material. He said, "This is awful. Right. This is rubbish. We can write better. I can write better stuff than this rubbish." And there was a big fallout over it. And in the end, the band got more say in what they played. And, you know, power to the elbow for Mike Nesmith to put, because they were just saying, "You've got to sing that." And they weren't playing on it. Now, Mike Nesmith, that we know, was a really good guitar player. Nicky Dolenz, a great drummer, but they weren't playing on the albums. I'm not going to go too much into the Partridge Family because I'm doing next week. So that's another example, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we'll tell you a bit more about that next week.
Yeah. But I mean, Nicky Dolenz was a good singer as well.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, I think they're an example of the sort of, you know, they're a manufactured band, you know, but they put together through adverts in the sort of entertainment press, weren't they?
Yep.
And I mean, were they intended? You know, I don't think they were intended to be a band as such. Although, you know, I think sort of releasing the singles was all sort of part of the sort of television show, wasn't it? Because they play, you know, that they play the songs on the television program,
which would generate sales.
Yeah, but you know, they managed to escape this, didn't they? You know, they escaped the stigma of it as well. You know, they became a band that were, you know, quite respected.
Yeah, I mean, what was that album that they made? That's real psychedelic album. It's got a funny title. That was nothing like what they were doing on the show.
Yeah,
it's too bad that that their shows with Jimi Hendrix Experience were never documented. I mean, there are certain events in rock history that were never documented that I wish had been, and that's one of them, because that tour was a disaster.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to think about it, the Monkees and the Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Right. Well, the audiences are completely different.
Yeah.
So that's the, you know, it's not that musically they didn't somehow tangentially complement one another, but the audience is just, you know, hippies against teeny boppers.
Yeah, I mean, his head. Yeah. You know, but you know I think they did really well to sort of escape that whole, you know, manufactured sort of idea, you know, because it, you know, it's more of an acting role, wasn't it? You know, it was a television program.
Yeah, Jim's right. Going Down is a really good song.
I never saw Head. Did you?
No, I never saw the movie. I've heard the album. I quite like it because it's very psychedelic and groovy.
Yeah. I've seen it many moons ago, but not recently. But you know, I think that's, you know, that's the difference, isn't it? That, you know, the manufactured pop of, you know, the 60s and 70s tended to have sort of people who were at least musicians.
Compared to the stuff that I just showed you.
And you know, and no doubt, you know, they had ambition probably beyond being famous.
Yeah.
And you know, some of them, some of them made it sort of further. But I mean, there's other bands like, do you remember the Rubettes?
Yeah.
You know, Sugar Baby Love. Yeah.
White suits.
Yeah. You know, I mean, they were session musicians, and you know, the idea was, you know, they were. I think they were going to be sort of anonymous, you know, but you know, they were asked to form a band, and yeah.
Well, it's a bit like a certain person's backing band, isn't it? Called the Glitter Band. They went off and did their own thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
What were they called?
The Glitter Band.
The Glitter Band. That's what
they recorded under. I didn't know.
Yeah.
They had some big hits, very big hits. I mean, another band like Blue Mink, they were a session band, weren't they?
Yeah.
And they ended up with 2 top 10 hits in the 70s.
So there's Bannerman, wasn't there?
Bannerman and
What's the other one?
Melting Pot.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. So you know that it was a different sort of thing. You know that you know, bands. You know, so I think there are some bands, weren't there, that sort of made it through talent shows like like Opportunity Knocks.
Yeah, Waddy came through a talent show.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's all quite interesting. I think one of the most interesting sort of stories about sort of manufactured personas is that of Elvin Stardust. It's an absolutely brilliant story, and I don't know if you know it, Michael. Well, what happened is that there's a guy called Peter Shelley, not the Pete Shelley of the Buzzcocks, but he was a record company executive for Magnet Records, I think it was.
Magnet.
Yeah. Yes, it was, because Alvin's early singles were on Magnet as well. So anyway, Peter Shelley wrote My Cuckoo, and he just, and it was more of a sort of sideline for him. He was, he was first and foremost a record. He was a record company owner. He was a record executive, and he didn't really sort of relish the idea of getting into performing in a big way. And apparently, what happened is that he turned up on a kids' pop program, and it was called Lift Off with Aisha. Do you remember that?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, Aisha Broth, who was at one point, she was romantically linked with Roy Wood, wasn't she? And at that time, sort of, that Roy started wearing sort of letter A in the star on his makeup on his forehead. Anyway, so My Cuckoo was sort of picked up, and this guy Peter Shelley wrote the song, produced it, everything. He turned up on the television program, and he performed as Alvin Stardust, and he was dressed as a clown. And he sang My Cuckoo, and they thought, well, and that's the end of it. He's done his bit, but unfortunately, it was Magnet, yeah. Anyway, so what happened is that because of this sort of TV appearance, that Radio 1 picked up on the song, other radio stations picked up on it, and before he knew it, there were calls for Alvin Stardust to appear on Top of the Pops. And Shelley just didn't want to do it. And so he thought he'd get somebody in. So it was this guy, and he was who had had a little bit of a career before, and that's another story. This is Shane Fenton. He was known as at the time, but his real name was, I think it was Bernard Jury. And anyway, he'd had a bit of fame with in the 60s with a band called Shane Fenton and the Fentones, and he took that persona when, unfortunately, a sort of really sort of unfortunate things that happened with the band. That they'd sent a tape off to the BBC in the hope of sort of getting a bit of publicity, getting a bit of traction in their career. And shortly after they sent the tape off, the guy, who I think was called Johnny Theakston, who was a character Shane Fenton in Shane Fenton and the Fentones, unfortunately died. And sort of a week or so after he died, BBC got back and said, "We think you guys are great. Come and come and do something with us." So Johnny's mum. You couldn't make it up, could you? Johnny's mom said, "Well, look, I think he would have wanted you lot to sort of carry on.
Yeah.
So, you have my blessing. You can carry on if you can find a singer." And at the time, this guy, Bernard Jury, was a roadie for the band, and he said he could sing a bit. And they said, "Well, why don't you, do you fancy being Shane Fenton?" And he said yes. So for a while in the 60s, and they had sort of 3 or 4 hits, and Shane Fenton and the Fentones. And then, as sort of like, these careers sort of, everything sort of slowed down. I think he was playing in sort of working men's clubs and, little venues, still working as a musician, but certainly without any fame. Until he got the call from Peter Shelley saying, "Hey Shane, how do you fancy being Alvin Stardust?" And
The rest is history.
Wow.
So Shane Fenton has got nothing to do with the first single, "My Cuckoo." That had already been, it'd already been pressed. It was Peter Shelley. But then after that, Alvin Stardust, Shane Fenton, Bernard Jury, whatever, was the became Alvin Stardust, and I think he was. I think he was really successful. Sort of not just in terms of sort of selling records, but he looked the part.
Right.
Yeah, with his black glove and his.
Yeah.
This was never a grift. It was just opportunity and the circumstances changing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And adapting.
Twice. Yeah.
Yeah, he had the charisma, didn't he, to carry it off?
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
another sort of manufactured band, the Wombles. I mean, it's Mike Batt's birthday today. The people that played in that Wombles were dressed up. One, the guitarist was Chris Spedding of Fame of War of the Worlds. The drummer was Clem Catty of Tornadoes and the Outlaws, and
Wow.
and people that appear is Robin Le Mesurier, John's son, who played obviously a lot with. I think he played with Rod a lot, and so the people, and apparently when they was on Top of the Pops once, members of Steel Eye Span donned the costumes and went on stage as the Wombles.
Yeah. So that's a bit of a shock, isn't it? Are you telling me that the Wombles aren't a real band?
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got other sort of thing, the classic one, the Ruttles.
Yeah.
A manufactured band, but could actually play Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
Bad news that all the people in them bands, they could actually play instruments and sing.
Yeah.
I mean, Christopher Guest, who played Nigel, he was a folk singer and in a folk band. So he could. There's so many of these things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Neil Innes was in the Ruttles, wasn't he?
He was in the Ruttles. He was
From
one of the
Bonzos. Yeah. Yeah. But that it's quite interesting, isn't it? How sometimes these sort of parody bands actually become bands in their own right.
Legends in the case, definitely in the case of Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
They played at Freddie Mercury's tribute concert.
Yeah.
And they said they came out, we've cut our set short to one song. And the guy, he's in The Simpsons, he plays Derek Smalls. That's the way Freddie have wanted it. And the place just erupted. But to see Spinal Tap, this legendary parody band rocking, and they could rock.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I think with Spinal Tap, they got the whole sort of heavy metal sort of parody exactly right, didn't they?
I mean, the drummer was Rick Parnell of all, the legendary Rick Parnell.
Yeah. But
Here we go. Chris Spedding was Wellington, Lee Hurdle, Clem Clatty, Chandler Hon, all good session musicians that have played a lot of albums.
Yeah. That's fair. I was just before we started today.
Yes,
I was having a look at the record store day list that's just come out. So I got an email about it, and there's a Wombles album for record store day.
Really?
A Wombles for record store. So there's one for you, Nick.
Yeah.
A Wombles record on record store day.
Ah.
Yeah.
Speaking of record store day,
yes,
Madness are releasing an album of covers.
Are they?
Yeah, I just found out today.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Also see that they're releasing a Gloria Jones album along with a single as well of Tainted Love.
Wow.
Oh yeah. I've got the original 7-inch single,
I know you have, mate. Yeah.
which is worth an absolute fortune.
Nice possession, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes,
I never knew until Beatle Dave pointed it out, but she was driving the car, Mark Bolan.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, there you go. What have I missed? Oh yeah, Alvin Stardust.
Yeah.
My other half, God bless her, saw him a few years ago at one of his Butlins weekenders.
Oh yeah.
And this is when he was ill.
Yeah.
He was really ill, but he couldn't stand up and sing. He had to sit on a bar stool type thing. So the other half told me he didn't want to let his fans down.
All right.
He felt obliged to do it. But so yeah, fair play to him. God bless him. He also recorded on Stiff.
I know. I've been looking for some of those singles. I haven't got any of the Stiff ones.
Yeah, I've got one.
Yeah.
It's a promo thing. I might have, but the thing is though, it is kind of in the list of stuff on Stiff, but it hasn't got like a they've got on the label, they've got buy 136, for example.
Yeah.
The number, I don't think they've got the buy number. I think they've got a totally different number from what I
Right.
can remember. I'd have to dig it out, but it'd take me a while. But yeah, he did record on Stiff. A lot of the bands did promo singles on Stiff.
Yeah.
But I've only ever seen the one, and that's that Alvin Stardust one. I've got it. I've got my Cuckoo as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew it weren't him singing.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it came to his funeral, I've seen sort of footage on YouTube.
Mhm.
A load of motorbikers and all that turned up to give him, to pay homage and
Right.
give him that sort of last
Yeah.
extra special sort of ride in the hearse. They accompanied the hearse and all that.
Wow.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
They were big fans of him. There was a lot of love for him, actually, weren't there?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he had the look of a rock star, didn't he? With that
He did,
black
he did.
hair and the black leather jacket and trousers and the glove.
Yeah. 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 The way he held the microphone as well.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, see, look,
Like that, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah, brilliant. And he appeared in road safety adverts on British TV as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The Green Cross Code, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, great man. Of his time, really, weren't he? I suppose he tried sort of resurrecting his career, didn't he? A bit in the 80s. I think he had one sort of hit. I think it was something about Buddy Holly, a tribute record to Buddy Holly or something like that.
Right.
I can't for the life of me remember what it was called.
Well, I mean, he also did. I mean, Alvin did that in the 80s, didn't he? He did that cover version of Pretend.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember that. This was really good. I loved him. I mean, he used to appear on all the shows at the time. I mean, he was on the Bay City Rollers show. He was,
good God.
he was on Mark Bolan's show.
Yeah.
He was always crackerjack. He'd always turn up on the kids' shows, and the kids loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
He loved the people, and the people loved him.
Yeah.
And they all showed up for his funeral. So bless them. He's one of those stars. Oh, I remember him. Blah blah blah. But yeah, what a guy, what a bloke. Didn't want to let his fans down. Still showed up for these 80s and 70s weekenders, and yeah.
I mean,
brilliant.
my mum had his single "I'm a Moody Guy" when he was playing Fenton.
I think he did another one. Was it called "I'm Just a Jealous Guy" or something?
Yeah, Jealous Guy. Yeah, Jealous Mind.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And Madness as well. The powers that be in the record industry over here wanted to tout them as the new Monkeys, but it never really happened. But I can see where they're coming from, because like the Monkeys, they're sort of a bit of a fun type band, perhaps with a bit of a crazy attitude.
Yeah.
But it never happened. Never happened. In a way, I'm kind of glad it didn't. I don't think they would have caught on too well with the American public.
No, probably not. Were Madness or are Madness particularly popular in the United States? I sort of get the feeling they're probably not.
No.
Our House, I think, is their biggest tune over there. I think it might have made the top 10 or at least the top 20. Is it the Billboard chart? Is it they call it?
Got a lot of airplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about It Must Be Love? I mean, that was a huge hit here, wasn't it? So I don't know if it was in America.
I don't know, to be honest. I never really sort of followed what they did over in America.
Yeah.
It was big on MTV, Our House.
Yeah.
That was a good video, though, wasn't it? I think that's one of them songs where the video sold the song.
Right. It did.
Yeah.
I never really followed their sort of trying to make it big over in America. But some bands just don't make it, do they? You know, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Well, yeah. I mean, we talked about this before, haven't we? About how some bands that Michael was maybe sort of growing up with that really didn't make an impression at all in the UK. And we talked about Laura Neera, haven't we? Just didn't really make an impression in the UK at the time.
Yeah, my mate Lee went to see the Bob Dylan movie this week.
And
Is it good?
He said it's very good. He says the actress that plays Joan Baez, it's brilliant.
Oh.
So he said you can tell. I don't know how true it is. I mean, everyone knew that Joan had the hots for Bob Dylan, but
I expect a lot of young ladies did.
Yeah. There's another one for you, Michael, from Jim. Did Freddie and the Dreamers take off in the States?
Well, a little bit before my time. Yeah, they were they were a 50s band, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, he's on the ball again still. Number 33, Sun in the Rain 76. So
very good. Yeah, Our House there.
Is Dave all right? Is he doing okay?
He's doing all right, yeah. He's just got a bit of a sore head and he can't put his head.
Well, I expect he has, yeah.
Yeah, so he's fine, as you can see. But we gave him the week off.
That's
very kind of you.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, you're a good employer, aren't you?
A bit like Blackadder, you can have a day off when you're dead.
Well, I hope you're in fine fettle soon, Dave.
Yeah, he's been fine fettle, but when you have he's up here, it's not very nice.
No.
No, and Mike stepped in today as off the bench to do the thing. And I think of it. Thank you very much for your comments on the Cramps video, Nick.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You could tell you were having a good time doing it.
Yeah, when I watched it back, I didn't really. I mean, I've always been a fan, but even Lee said, he says, "You're really a big fan of that band, aren't you?" I think I am. I think I realised that I've always been a fan, but I didn't realise I was such a big fan until I watched my own video.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched it this afternoon, Ian, after you reminded me this morning. So, yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good stuff.
Did you get consensus for your ranking choices, Ian? Or was there any pushback from the other loving fans?
No pushback.
Good.
No, it's very good. Excellent.
No, I see that. Vinyl Richie gave you a nice comment, didn't they?
He did, yeah. Which is always nice to have comments from Richie. Yeah, I mean, Psychedelic Jungle. It was the album that really got me into them. I mean, there was my friend's sister that says, "You like rockabilly, don't you?" I went, "Yeah." She says, "You like punk?" I went, "Yeah." And she just said, "Get your lugs round this." And she put on Psychedelic Jungle. I went, "Yeah." It's two genres that I just love. I mean, I love Mr. Knox's drumming. He's a classic rockabilly drummer, but he puts the energy of a punk drummer, but still keeps his rockabilly sound. I mean, Poison Ivy, what a guitarist! Very underrated, I think.
Have you seen that video footage of them performing at the Napa State psychiatric facility?
Yeah. I've seen bits of it.
And then there's the other early one with him filleting microphones on YouTube that are just wild, absolutely wild.
He was a showman, wasn't he? A real showman, and a visual band, very visual.
Yeah, very. And I mean, the energy that they put in on a performance. It doesn't matter who was in the band, you know. Every member that came through that band had the right attitude and the right tempo for the band, and they fitted in just so easy, didn't they? I mean, it's sad that Lux is no longer with us, isn't it? It's very sad.
Yeah, I was working at TNT in Wellingborough on the night shift, loading up lorries and shunting lorries and trailers. When I heard it on the news, on one of those early in the morning type programs on Radio 2 or whatever it was. And I heard, quite shocking, really. But there you go.
Yeah, I mean, now I shall be looking into their live albums at some stage. I mean, because I know.
Oh yeah.
There's absolutely loads of EPs as well, aren't there?
Yeah, I did notice that when I did the research. Blimey.
Yeah.
I got that Psychedelic Jungle album when we were last up at Leeds.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I had it on CD.
The bloke had loads of them. He had a good few of them.
Yeah, I might. When I'm up in Leeds, I might be looking for at least one Cramps album, I think.
Yeah. But it wasn't until I finished watching your video that I realised I've only got 2 studio albums. I've got a live album, Smell a Female one, that's good.
Yeah.
There's video footage of that on YouTube. And Off the Bone, which I think was perhaps only released over here. I'm not 100% sure.
They're really
I think it was released when they were having sort of contractual problems with their label or something like that, or they left the label and weren't allowed to release anything, but somehow that got released. Probably only here in Britain, I think. Yeah. Like I say, he was Ivy was a showwoman as well, but Lux especially very visual band. But she was the brains of the outfit.
Yeah.
Why is their stuff not re-released? It's really hard to find, and nobody has really taken up the job of just putting out re-releasing all their records again. I wonder why.
Yeah, I mean, one or two. I think one or two people says it's nice to see someone actually rank Cramps.
With that psychedelic jungle, that was a reissue
Yeah,
on the blue vinyl.
yeah. There was a reissue of Flame Job probably a year or so ago.
I've never ever seen any of their later stuff
No, no.
in the flesh.
But
I think the latest I've ever seen, I think, is possibly A Date with Elvis.
right.
And I
Yeah.
saw that at Leeds, but he wanted silly buggers money for it.
I was just going to say, Nick. I mean, I've been wanting to buy Cramp stuff, and the prices really put me off.
Yeah,
I mean, they can be three figures, can't they? Some of these albums.
yeah. Well, I paid a hell of a lot for that Off the Bone album, but I wanted it for donkey's years, you know, and I've always sort of ummed and ahed whenever I've come across it, it's either scratched a buggery or there's something up with it, you know.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, I paid a hell of a lot more than what I should have done. Really, it wasn't three figures. I'll say it was between 50 and 100.
Yeah. 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 I'm not surprised. You know, I think that's a going rate. You know, I don't think you're going to get it much cheaper
Yeah,
unless
but
it's in bad condition.
I remember back in the 80s, first half of the 80s, I was at a party and a couple of my mates were chatting away sort of in the corner, and then one of them was showing the other one an album, and it was Off the Bone. And I sort of waddled over. Oh, what's this then? Oh, you'll love this, Nick. You know, blah 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 blah. Went to the record shop the day after. They didn't have it, but they had a copy of Smell of Female. So I brought that, took it home. Brilliant, absolutely love it. Fantastic live record. Well worth listening to.
She's retreated, right, from all public life. That's what I read.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was when Lux died. I think she just I don't know. I mean, she could have carried on doing her own stuff, but I suppose she couldn't perform without her husband. You know that, and she's just. But she made money, and fair play to the lady. You know.
Yeah,
total respect for her.
It wouldn't have been the same, would it? You know, nowhere near.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, she played. I mean, their version of the Johnny Burnett out track is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I love Johnny Burnett, but you know, I mean,
her and Lux had a huge 45s collection, and a lot of it was this early sort of rockabilly stuff, and stuff you'd hear them doing the cover of. So they knew a lot of this stuff they were playing. You know, these cover versions they were playing. Like I say, they had a huge record collection.
I mean, when I went through the tracks and that, when I was putting it together, you look at them, but well, these are really obscure rockabilly tracks, and you know.
Yeah, but they had them.
Yeah, they loved their rockabilly, and it some of them covers, they weren't punky at all. They were just pure rockabilly, and that was fantastic. I mean, I wonder if I haven't seen her for years, but if she's still got an original, you know, when she brought that Psycho Jungle when it come out, that must be worth a fortune now.
Good. It's a good topic. You know, bands we love that we can't find, and their records cost a lot of money. How come?
Yeah. I think that'll be a good topic of conversation. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, there's all sorts of stuff, isn't there? And you think, oh, I wish I could get that. And there doesn't seem to be any sort of like rhyme or reason for it. Why is this stuff so rare? You know,
Yeah.
'cause I don't understand why the Cramp stuff is so.
All I can think of is that she's not interested in the business aspect, and that she's been approached by publishers, and and she's just said, "No, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah,
I don't want to be reminded." That's what I think it is.
yeah, maybe.
But the good news is, yeah, I at the moment, if I want to listen to the Cramps, I listen to it through Spotify,
Sure.
which and I put it through my system to crank it up, so it's just like if you've got the album on anyway. So,
And there's a shitload of bootlegs as well out there.
Yeah.
And that's another sort of a rabbit hole to go down.
Oh God, yeah.
I had I brought it. I haven't got it now. It's on cassette, but I had a Cramps recorded somewhere in Europe, not in the UK, but in Europe, 1987, 88 time. The quality wasn't brilliant, but you could tell the playing was fantastic. And because it's done in the crowd, all you could hear is the crowd singing along, and
yeah.
Someone shouted to something about Ivy, get your threatenings out.
Yeah, blimey.
God, if Lux heard that, he'd have been in the crowd sorting them out.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
fantastic
he
band.
on stage. He was a great front man.
Yeah.
Warts and all on this cassette. He got warts and all, so you got everything that he was saying, and it was so funny as well. You know, swore a lot, but
Yeah. But I mean, that's what makes that's what makes a great live band. You know, someone who's comfortable up there on stage, and and he's prepared to sort of have a bit of banter with the audience.
yeah, he had presence. Well, they all did. They all had their presence in their own way. Yeah, talking to Ricky Nelson today when I did the American Top 10 for '91, which was awful. They had his two sons, and I said it was yacht rock. That song, whatever, I don't even remember it, but it was awful. It was just posh boys rock. Plastic generated 1990s pop rock, and they got pretty boys. I bet their dad was proud.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I actually, as I said, I managed to get down on the floor and find me records. So we can show some records, if you like.
Yeah, go on.
I've got records, but it's not related to the topic. I popped in the charity shop earlier on my lunch break at work.
A bit of record shows. We'll go with
as long as they're in a carrier bag, Nick.
Yeah, you got to put them in a carrier bag.
Oh, hang on a minute, then. Just for you. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and say, "Make me big." You want to say that?
Yeah.
I've got to make myself big.
You're in charge today, boy.
I'll tell you what, I am lost without my producer.
Yeah.
I'm lost without my producer, right?
It shows.
It shows. I mean, I forgot to put. I mean, I knew Michael was laughing. I forgot to put our names up because I hadn't switched it over from earlier.
Yeah,
when they appeared, Michael was. He got the joke, didn't you? Right, so here we go. These are all family, and they're all titles of mine.
Yes.
So I'm going to show a single for once, and it's a single by Boney M.
Oh,
Ma Baker.
Oh,
yeah, I've got Ma Baker.
Hey, that's another sort of manufactured band, isn't it?
It is, yes, very.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ma Baker. I do like that song. Okay, my next one. These are all very predictable. But
Yes.
of course, we've got the wall and the song. Mother,
There you go.
who's going to break my balls? One of Michael's favourite Genesis albums.
Oh,
Mama.
no.
Mama, yeah, I like Mama. I don't mind Mama. Okay. Bit of Iron Maiden. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son.
Mm.
Ooh, now we're going into the stuff. A little bit of Queen from Queen 2.
Yep.
And guess what, folks? It's the double.
Tie your mother down.
No. Father to Son.
Oh,
Ah,
This is a great album. Their most proggiest album they ever made, I think. It's great.
I quite like that album. I like the first three. Yeah.
Yeah, this is out of them first three. This is the best. Apart from Brighton Rock and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, Deep Purple. I don't really like the track on this track, but it's Anyone's Daughter.
Oh dear.
Yes,
Anyone's Daughter. It's not the best track on the album. I remember when they did this live and I saw them. It was when Blackmore and Gillan weren't talking, and everyone was round John Lord's piano except Richie Blackmore, who sat the other side. Okay, we've got a bit of Marillion. I thought, do I show script tonight? No, I'll show the live album that it's on. Forgotten Sons.
Oh.
Status Quo. Mark Kelly's Greasy Spoon. Daughter.
Yeah, I love that album cover.
Yeah,
Me too.
That's Greasy Spoon Cafe in England in the 60s.
Who's the photographer? Does he give a credit on the back? That's a famous one.
Sleeve design. No, but I will find out for you.
Yeah, that's famous. I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a great. We all know I would have to bring this one out. It's any excuse to show this.
And the song is?
Uncle Albert.
Yes.
Yes,
But it's on Wings' Greatest Hits.
it is. Yeah, I haven't got and I've got out Velvet Underground. Anyone know what song it is?
Sister Ray.
No.
I don't know what's that. What's
The album. European Sun.
Ah.
Is that a printed banana or a peelable banana?
No, it's a printed one.
Oh.
No, I can't afford the proper one, but it's on the MGM label. I picked up that cost me a tenner.
That's all right.
There you go.
Yeah, so there we go. That's my thing. Hang on, I've got to make myself small. So, most of them were on my bottom shelf, and I couldn't get at them last week. I just about managed to get them today. I got down to get them, but I had to push me. Oh, I'm in a bad time. Oh, while I was doing all that,
Yes.
I'm all coming. So bonjour, bonsoir, whatever it is.
Oh, bonjour.
Say hey. So welcome to the thing. Oh, look at clever clogs here.
Very nice, David.
Yes. There's always a clever clogs, isn't there? Anyway, did you get a plastic bag, Nick? Hey, we're now cooking on gas.
Right. Yeah. Now we're talking.
Yeah. So
That's
shall we?
good old days.
Shall we?
I've only got
revert to-
4. I've only got 4 singles.
Okay.
Oh, that's all right.
Let's have a look at these 4 singles then. That's right. Get the right person to make big. There you go. It's all yours.
I'm having to do this one-handed.
Why?
Oh, look at this.
Boy, what are you doing with your hand, mate?
Well, that's none of your business.
Right.
but I'm happy. I'll save that one till last. I think that's the best one. The records are surprisingly in good nick, but the sleeves are crap. And it only cost me, well, she said £2 for the lot, but
Wow.
that's hang on, where's me Doobie Gray? Find 'em, fool 'em, and forget 'em.
Oh, I haven't seen that for years.
Ah.
I don't know it, but it was Doobie Gray, so I picked it up.
Well, it can go wrong. As long as it's in good condition, not about the cover, does it?
So I'm presuming it's a soul record of some description, but I haven't had a chance to play them yet.
Okay.
Probably wait till the weekend.
Mid-70s, isn't it? I think,
Yeah.
if I remember right.
I heard this one on Golden Oldie radio station the other morning.
Oh.
Okay.
Can't get used to losing you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a version of that by Muse.
Ah. Was it?
The beat.
It was it.
The Beat did it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was either the Beat or Selectra. I couldn't remember which one.
Are you
think-
make one of those videos that says these are the records that you never see on the VC?
I might do something, a video of some sorts with original versions and cover versions.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you should.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not an Andy Williams fan, but
Yeah.
it's the sort of song you hear and you can sort of tap your fingers and whatever. Here's another one to knock off my Stiff collection.
Hmm.
Mockingbird by the Bell Stars.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. I'd
It's a
have been
shame it's a shame it's not in a picture sleeve.
Yeah.
It's by 159, I think.
Yeah.
Should
Right.
have really put my glasses on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean only 50p each. So I mean I ain't complaining.
Right.
Well, no, I'd pick that up any day, Nick.
Yeah, I've got a couple of spare Stiff company sleeves. That'll go in one of them.
Oh.
And the last one, which is an absolute beauty.
Hmm.
Oh no, I don't know that. I don't even know who Lloyd Michaels is. Do you know anything about it, Nick?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
I haven't heard that one.
The band is called Mistura. Lloyd Michaels is a trumpeter. The song's called The Flasher. And would you believe it? It's a Northern Soul dance track, instrumental.
all right.
So yeah, it's there on YouTube. It's probably one of them songs you don't recognise the title name, but you might recognise the actual tune itself. I don't know if it charted. It's from 1976.
I bet if I heard it, I'd know it.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those.
Yeah, I'll probably look it up tomorrow and go, yep, I know it.
But there was a fair bit of Motown and your sort of regular soul stuff, you know, the Tramps and stuff like that. A lot of it not in particularly good condition, and a lot of it I've already got anyway. But yeah, I was quite surprised to sort of come across that.
Yeah,
50 pence, I ain't moan.
yeah. Yeah.
Two
That would
quid.
have passed me by completely, Nick. I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have realised.
But it's only because of John 6-inch pianist's soul tag thing. But I'm sort of getting really back into it, Northern Soul.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of the records, I don't know what the names are, but I recognise the tunes.
All right. Yeah.
And that one, yeah, that's again, I haven't played it. I've not had time to play any of these because of work and looking after the little one tonight. But yeah, the Flasher. It's an instrumental. Northern Soul, classed as Northern Soul.
Yeah, if I
And
know, I'll text you tomorrow, Nick, and say, "Yep, I've heard it."
and I also picked that up.
Hey, a rugby union. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. They need all the help
£5
they can get.
£5 in Lidl.
Hey, can't go wrong.
But then there's
Yeah.
some nice boys there.
Yeah, I've also got a Gary Newman album on order.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I'll reveal that at a later date.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Obviously, you haven't watched the review, so you're all right, Mike.
Hey, don't mention it to him. Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
What's that?
Nothing at all. No, don't you worry about it.
No.
Anyway, did any of you bring some records to show the world today?
Yeah, I've got some. Actually, before I show them, Ronald said he'd got a copy of the National Health album, their self-titled album that I mentioned it a while ago in a video, and I said I thought he'd like it. So I hope you do. And coincidentally, I'm just browsing very quickly through the Record Store Day releases today, and that album is getting a reissue. And I know you like Robert Wyatt, and there's God, what's the name of the band? Little Red Record, it's called. It's gone. Yeah, but Robert Wyatt's band, Matching Mole. That's it. Matching Mole's Little Red Record is getting a reissue as well for Record Store Day. So there you go. Bit of Canterbury scene there.
Oh, excellent. Would you like the floor, sir?
Yeah, go on.
There you go.
Right, okay. I've not got that many, but I'll start off. And this one has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 relatives mentioned.
Oh,
Done.
So it's Jane Birkin's. I think it's her last studio album. Oh, pardon, 2 doormats. There it goes. And the track in question is called Ghosts, and the chorus of Ghosts is grandpa, grandma, mother, father, daughter, nephew, cats, husbands, friends.
That's a good album, isn't it?
It's a good album, yeah. Yeah, I think it's very good. So that's the first one. Then one of my favourite New York bands, American bands, 10,000 Maniacs, the brilliant Natalie Merchant, The Wishing Chair. And the track on here, I've forgotten what it is. It's My Mother the War, which I think is Cat Stevens' track.
My Mother the what?
The War.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's Cat Stevens. I could be completely wrong.
Okay.
Right. Bit more familiar territory now for me. Punk and new wave. So this is Tom Robinson Band, the Rising Free EP. And there's a track on here called Martin, and it's about a brother. I just want to tell you about Martin. no one I know's got a brother like him. So that's a brother mentioned. Then we've got to have this, haven't we?
Oh,
Oh.
God. Yeah. My
Yeah.
perfect cousin.
Yeah, my perfect cousin. What I like to do, he doesn't.
He always beats me at Sabutio because he
fixed the kick and I didn't know, yeah.
Is the disc
I
in there?
like the back cover better than the front cover, actually. Yeah.
There's mention of an 80s synth pop band in there.
Human League.
That's it. You got it.
Yeah. She bought him a synthesizer, brought the Human League synthesizer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because as well as cousin, Miles mentioned as well, isn't it? He's got a furlough sheepskin jacket. My mum said they cost a packet.
Yeah.
Right, a bit of Ian Jury. There you go.
Yeah. I've got that. Yeah.
Yeah. This is from the album Laughter, I think. Yes, it is definitely. It's on Laughter, isn't it?
I love that single cover.
Yeah. And probably the record that the single that I think saved Stiff Records.
It did.
It made it number one. Hit Me With Your Rhythm Stick, but it's the B-side of this. And the B-side is There Ain't Half Been Some Clever Bastards.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Lucky Bleeders.
2 lines on here says, probably got help from their mum, who had help from her mum.
Yeah.
So there you go. So that's all I've got from Records with Relatives. There you go.
There's another message from Ramon there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Somebody did some Canterbury thing. Did a video that I saw today, and I can't remember who it was. I can't remember who did it. Somebody did a Canterbury themed video. Anyway,
Wouldn't be Baggy Hi-Fi, would it?
no, it wasn't. Well, it wasn't Baggy. No, I mean he's more sort of garage and psych.
Wasn't Static Traveller?
Could have been, but yeah, they did a pretty good video. I can't say just I just watched it very, very quickly. Yeah.
Well, follow. That's just Canterbury scene. Usually comes up with something.
Yeah.
So you didn't buy it. So Nick didn't buy another Cars single.
No. Well, we're in short supply nowadays, aren't we?
He's gone black.
Oh dear. That's not good. I'll keep it. Yeah, we was having this discussion earlier, weren't we, that there's a lack of Cars singles because some bloke in Northamptonshire keeps buying them.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Well, I hope he comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Anyway, have you got anything to show us, Michael, today?
I do. The assignment was relations. I'll go rather quickly.
Yes.
At a brisk pace. You'll make me big. I shall show these to you. My first one is Mother, John Lennon. Mother.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Good choice.
My second one is A Real Mother for You.
That's my favourite. One of my favourite.
Yeah.
It's
one of my favourite covers that you show, Michael. I love that.
It's good, isn't it? Yeah.
Uncle Albert.
Yeah.
On Ram.
The Chambers Brothers.
Yes.
teach your children.
Yes.
Now, this one is a bit of a stretch, but it is a known fact that when this group got together, all of them had relations with one another.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Known fact, which is why the tour blew up.
Yeah.
Because jealousy set in.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Bring the family. Mama, he treats your daughter mean.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Freaky, freaky. And the last one is he has Paige Dean. He has relations. So it's, I took some liberty with the word relations. So
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
that was the assignment. Those are my 10.
There we go. Well, I don't know what's happened to poor old Nick.
Don't know.
Ah,
Oh my goodness. You're right, Nick. Everything okay? No sound.
yes, he's back.
Okay.
Sorry, am I interrupting your little thing?
Yeah.
Shall I crack on?
A little
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Go and check on your daughter.
That
No,
Canterbury
don't
video.
take it.
No,
I'll take over.
Yeah.
no.
Vinyl Stockholm. Jonas.
All right, I'll piss off then.
Keep the noise down.
Yes. Well, you two, you're on a fucking thing at the minute, so you keep the noise down and all.
Yeah, we'll keep the voice down. Don't worry.
So embarrassing. It could have been me.
Okay, Paul Shaw's got we got Paul Sharman, father and daughter. Adrian Bedlow, oh daddy. JJ
Yeah.
Cat, crazy mama. Who? Cousin Kevin. Moby
Yeah.
Great, the grandma. Brian Eno, the third uncle. Now that's a good one.
Yeah. Did somebody mention Matthew and Son earlier on?
Yeah,
No.
it was the lyrics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
How were the lyrics this week? Oh, we've got some more. Rolling Stones, Prodigal Son, Spirit, Uncle Jack, Bebop Deluxe, Sister Seagull.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Renaissance.
Really nice version of it on Live in the Air Rage, isn't that?
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Papa's
How
got a
about Paul Simon, Mother and Child Reunion?
Very good.
And Paul Simon, The Boy in the Bubble.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Son of a preacher man we could have had tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gary Newman, Sister Surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a fellow Newmanoid.
Yes.
No. There's two of you them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I've been looking that I'm going to take on Gary Newman's live album ranking at some stage. But
Oh yeah, I've got a couple.
Yeah, there's quite a lot as well. So anyway,
How about
Yes.
how about comparing some live albums by the Meteors with some of their studio stuff?
Yes, sounds good. Yes, there we go.
'Cause, yeah, they've always been more of a live band than a studio. Although I think they've done about 40 to 50 studio albums.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been looking at them. Oh, I might be able to do something with that. So yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can recommend. I've got live albums by them, studio. I can recommend stuff.
The Mamas and the Papas.
Yeah.
Sister Sledge.
Yeah. I think California Dreaming is an absolutely perfect American 60s pop song.
Yeah.
It is,
John and Michelle Phillips.
yeah.
The gorgeous Michelle Phillips.
Yeah.
I think she, even though she's now an older lady, she's still got the looks. She certainly had them in 1966.
Grab a granny.
Anyway, I think it's time to hold up something with them sort of comments, isn't it?
Yes.
And I think, as Michael likes the cover, I'm going to hold up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark Kelly's Greasy Spoon tonight. So we haven't got our usual 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So there we go. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anyway, I think on the behalf of all of us, we've missed Dave tonight, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
We've missed you, Dave.
We have.
We've hodgepodged this one.
Yeah. There's no substitute for a true professional, is there?
So I'm going to say thank you to my wonderful panelists. We always have a good chat and chew the cud, as they say, and put the world to right in the world of music. Thank you very much to everyone in the gallery tonight. Your comments are always welcome, and it shows that you are part of this, even though you come up on screen. We do appreciate it. We
love that.
We love that. So we will see you all next week, and hopefully Dave will be back with us next week. So normal service can resume.
Good night and God bless.
Good night. God bless wherever you are. Bye for now.
Bye.